Okay, welcome back to another episode of the Wedding Film School Show. My name is Jared Haskell, and Jason, I'm actually really proud of us this year. We've done a podcast every week.
Pretty much. I haven't released it every week, but
Right, we've been on the recording side.
yes.
Pretty much on my side. I'm just
You
congratulating
guys
myself.
have a lot of episodes to look forward to when I get to them.
Right. Been pretty consistent this year.
Yeah, at least every 2 weeks we've released an episode.
Yeah.
So better than ever.
To object, I mean, we really aren't doing anything January through March. I wouldn't say not doing anything, but the weddings are slow.
Weddings are slow, but then we are like, oh shoot, we didn't finish our editing till February.
Yeah.
And then, oh shoot, we're putting on a conference. And oh shoot, we have to redo all our Asana systems. So I felt we did a lot. And we did 12 videos for a brand new channel. So we did a lot.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah. A little teaser, a little tease.
LumaSites, if you haven't checked that out, I'm really proud of it actually, lumasites.com. We have themes that we developed. We're starting, you can buy them now and you can use our code, launch 10, and you can get 10% off a theme. We also launched elements. So if you have a show it theme, but you're just looking for a new portfolio page or a new contact page, we have those for sale. So actually, we did a lot this year.
Yeah, I know we did a lot. I'm saying more on the
Thanks for the
shooting
setup,
side.
though. Thanks for the setup so I
Yeah,
can
yeah.
promote our brands.
Push back. But today we're talking about a subject that I think a lot of people are thinking about, maybe worrying about.
We'll say unnear and undear to their hearts.
Yes. And the topic today is going to be, why aren't you booked in 2025? So,
Yes.
Jason, what made us kind of come up with this title? What were some things that you were thinking about?
Well, I mean, the practical catalyst was, I frequent the groups. It sucks because Facebook is so terrible and we all hate it, but I don't think there's a better collaborative environment for people from all different places to connect.
No.
And so, Level Up is a podcast. If you haven't listened to them, they're a wedding filmmaking podcast. They do a good job. And they had a poll in their group where they had asked people basically what percentage are you booked? And I think I did the numbers on it, and 50% of the group said, now we don't know what they mean by this, and we'll talk about that, but 50% of the group said, I am less than 50% booked. And I remember looking at that going, that checks with a lot of the noise I hear around right now. Like people who are normally doing 20 weddings, who are very established, obviously new people. I don't see as many new people even being able to get into the industry, which is another big sign when there's some issues, when someone starts something with a really competitive price and really good, and it just doesn't take off. There's no takers. I think it's becoming, this is external. And so one of the issues we have here with this entire topic for Jared and I is we are not experiencing this. And we don't experience it. We're insulated from market conditions. And I think the difference between us and maybe other people who talk about these topics, who they never acknowledge that, by the way, you'll be like, why does it matter? Everything's fine. Why don't you just do what I'm doing? Oh, started your business 20 years ago. Why didn't I just do that?
Great.
And start going to Engage when it cost $1,000.
Yeah.
I should do that. Yeah. Why don't I just do that?
Yeah.
Also, I should buy some Bitcoin while I'm at it.
Yeah.
But, I think we acknowledge that we don't necessarily know what it's like for you because our situation is so different, but I see it enough to know, I think there is a real problem in our industry at whole, by the way, not just in wedding filmmaking, which that is probably the actual number one problem is weddings are less planners are getting booked, less photographers are getting booked. It's not just us. But I think there is a real problem right now with people struggling to get the amount of weddings that they need. And there's probably a lot of reasons why. And so we want to break down and discuss. Some of it is just theoretical, just our opinion. Some of it is There is some data. It's not like we did a bunch of research though. So don't necessarily like
Right.
take this to the bank and say like, oh, Jason and Jared have this exhaustive study and they know it's a podcast, guys.
Well, yeah, I think it's important to acknowledge kind of what you said. We're not just talking about wedding filmmakers. We're talking broadly, seeing it in photography threads, seeing it in planner threads, talking to planners. Like, I'm down, and for me, it's a little bit frustrating because I feel like at this point we're having this discussion every single year. Like, so at what point is it just like, well, it's just normal for some people to be struggling?
I don't think we are having this exact discussion though.
You don't think so? I feel like we had it last year.
There's always somebody
And the year before.
there is someone who has this discussion, but
Right.
that's like human nature to shirk responsibility for your own failures.
Yeah.
Like people are going to go like, this isn't working. It's like, dude, clearly it's not working. Like how people became successful is so varied, you know? So it's like, if you like, everyone is different is my point. Like if you talk to this one person, oh, my
Precisely.
bookings are way down. And then you're like, how many weddings did you do? I noticed you did a lot of weddings at this one country club. Yeah, we did a lot at that country club. And I noticed it burned down. Yeah, it burned down. Too bad.
Or
That's
probably
why-
more common is you burned your
Yeah.
contact there,
Or one
you
other
had a bad
person showed up
experience
and wiped you out.
took your lunch. Yeah.
Like, but who knows why? But people don't typically like process in accountable ways. So
well, they don't process fast enough either. Like they're like, hey, I used to shoot a lot here, and then this year I didn't book any weddings there. Why? Like, there's not that like
They didn't say, why am I
immediate
not booking
realization.
weddings either? Why am I not getting inquiries? Why
Yeah.
am I not like that's a lag measure. It's not a lead measure. And like the leading measure is the leads.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
should have known there was a problem months ago.
It's complicated, man.
It is complicated.
It's hard because like I see a lot of people. We're recording this at the end of April, and I see a lot of people like, and I've been contacted by our competitors in the area, and they're like, you know, are you noticing a lot of leads just drop off? It's freaking out. Like, you know, reach out to me twice. How are leads looking? Blah blah blah. And I'm like, you know, just like a normal April for us. April is for 15 years has been the worst booking month because I in my theory, and again, empirical data, guys. Like I don't have, you know, my thumb on like, you know, I can't point you to a study for those who of you.
If
those
you
who
tried to
like
do a
those type of
study in the
numbers.
wedding industry, dude, everybody would lie to you. That's the whole problem with the study
Yeah.
in the wedding industry. Like, you get 100
Exactly.
people, you ask them a question, they're all just going to
Yeah.
brag and lie.
So I'm just gonna go off our numbers, which are actually real numbers, and why I think those are the case. I think people where we're in New England, so we kind of have like the non-Florida, non-Southern, you know, schedule of weddings, where we are booking January through March for the current year that we're in. It's like that wave of people that want to book same year for a wedding. You could call them last minute, but I would say within that 6-month window. April is like a buffer zone of like no one wants to book for that current year, but also people aren't looking ahead a year ahead yet. You hit May when we start doing more weddings, people go, okay, we're a year away from our wedding.
Well, and this is how you know it.
You start booking for the next year at that point.
But this is just knowledge of your own market booking cycle. So
Right.
I think like to like focus it down on wedding filmmaking, it definitely has a unique booking cycle in the industry because it's a last minute add-on, not for everyone, but it still is for a lot of people. And like some people like that's bad. I'm like, I think it's good. I'm happy that people make a decision to add it to their wedding. And we built our business on that, knowing that people are going to want to be able to do that.
Well,
And
you have, I think it's just different types of people. You have people that are very regimented, like a year away, or you have the people that are like, I didn't think we wanted it. Now we want it. I expect that we have actually another wave.
yes,
Like we have the actual last minute wave of like within a month. You know what? We would just really regret it.
well,
if
and
we
that's
didn't
to
do
your
it.
point.
Any chance you're available?
I'm
And
already
then
getting-
yes or no.
I've had 3 wedding planners reach out to me and say, I have this wedding that they don't have video, but we think we want to add it. Do you have like a low end package
Yep.
or something for us to put you on? Like the reason we built the business we did, guys, is because we understand the market and how the market works and how to capture. And there's a
Well-
lot of places where you're not ever going to come in the door with a $10,000 wedding.
And also having like what people who hate our type of business would call a volume brand is like, we actually work really well with planners. Not because we are Alex Douglas, Sculpting with Time, Henry, or whoever. It's because we're available.
Well, and that's the other thing is
They don't have to call around.
they
Call
also
us and we're available.
They also book $10,000 packages.
Yes.
So like the thing about a lot of people don't understand is maybe on this wedding, they're like, oh, you bailed me out, $3,000. Thank you. That's great. Oh, a great experience. Oh, that was sick. That was awesome. Oh, I think they want this one. Like just because someone books you for 4 one time, a wedding planner, doesn't mean they're not going to book you for 17 the next time.
Mm-hmm.
And we find that all the time. We had a planner who was very, very reputable. I would say probably a top 25 in America, or if not more. Reach out for 2 weddings, 1 Huxley Film, and 1 Stop Go Love.
And 1 merriment.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
That was another one.
Yeah.
But this happens all the time is my point.
Yes.
Is like, so all that to say, we're in a different situation.
Yes.
And we understand that. We acknowledge that. And so that being said, we're just going to do our best to evaluate why people are not booked this year, especially in wedding filmmaking.
Yeah.
And what are some of the market conditions? Because as much as things stay the same, Jared, things have changed and probably the impact is similar, but the reasons are different.
Mm-hmm.
And so how you counteract those reasons, I think, is different now. That's why I'm saying it's different.
Yep.
The result is the same. You're not booked.
Yep.
The reason is probably a little different.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And I think, a lot of this discussion is going to be, again, empirical data, to say
Or
the
just
least.
literally something we just thought of.
Yeah. We're not going to have many appeals to authority here. I really do feel like because we have such volume, we are an authority on this because we just see it.
I mean, I'm not going to brag, but I don't know who knows more than I do about this.
About wedding filmmaking.
No, about the wedding industry's market.
Yeah.
How the market works, how people migrate through the market, up and down the market, where the opportunities are, where the opportunities aren't, how you claim them, how you don't.
Yep.
Like the only thing I'm not an expert on is ultra luxury.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I know how it works and I think I just can't do it.
Yeah.
But but it's one of those things where it's like anytime I can just pull a lever, I always make money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's like that's been a helpful thing. Like whatever is wrong with me that makes me just that coldly calculating, take advantage of it.
Yep.
You feeling artists out there.
So let's talk about some headwinds
Yes.
that wedding filmmakers are facing right now. What are some things right now that you think are working against the wedding filmmaker community and individuals?
And obviously you should weigh in on this too, but I think the number one thing is the COVID bubble burst. But the COVID bubble produced a ton of supply, and then the burst produced a very small amount of demand, but the supply has not caught up to the demand. So like we're essentially like the tariff wars are happening, right? China is over there with these ports filled with crap that they can't ship. So what do they have to do? They either have to throw it away, find someone else to buy it, or sell it for cheap.
Yep.
Because they can't sell it the way, and I think that's what happened to the wedding industry. We have imagine there's like a port filled with wedding filmmakers, and there used to be a bunch of buyers, and then suddenly just turned off the spigot. And now every one of those filmmakers has like 30% less audience to sell to. I think the other issue with the COVID bubble and the new supply is that typically when people enter the industry, there's a lot of uncertainty about that person, quality, experience. What is usually not uncertain is that they are cheaper than you. And so there's a lot more low cost supply. That's what happens when markets boom. Is low cost supply booms. And so there are low cost suppliers, and you'll probably address some of the particular categories of those suppliers that are there that are also taking people's lunch. I think weddings are just down because America hates marriage and young people don't believe in it. The other side is this will freak you out, and then we're getting into like societal things, but it is a relevant thing for wedding industry that no one talks about, which is bizarre to me because they think it's going to like boost freaking like Elon Musk or Donald Trump. And I'm like, it has nothing to do with Elon Musk or Donald Trump to say that millennials were 75 million. Gen Z was 65 million. Gen Alpha is like 50 million people, dude.
Yeah.
That's freaking like terrifying. Like if I was to give
so to go to your point, I was actually hearing some pretty positive on a different podcast, pretty positive news about the generation that's getting into, what is it, Gen Y, that's now starting to get married. It's like they're entering the marriage kind of portal at this point. Being more of a marriage generation.
I think that they will, but the problem is your total capacity, you can't make more people exist.
Yes. Oh, sure.
That's all I'm saying. It's like, it's not, that's why I'm saying it's not political.
Yep.
It's not religious. It's not cultural. It's literally, there's less people to get married by a lot.
Yes.
It's not a little bit.
Yes.
It's like 20% less per generation.
Yeah. I saw, and this is the economics of the weddings, I guess. Or just
and affluent people are not the ones having these kids.
The U.S. is actually still on a growth projection
because of immigration. And like, when's the last time I shot a wedding for like an El Salvadorian immigrant?
I think the U.S. is at like 340 million, and they're saying in like 50 years it's going to be like 420. So good because of immigration, but also I do think you have to have some sort of like wake up moment of like, we have to have kids again. It has to be more than the 2.1.
But that doesn't like for
replacement.
My point is only to say like none of that matters, because if you're listening to this, you're doing millennial weddings and Gen Y weddings and Gen Z kind of weddings.
Is it?
No, Gen Z. You're doing.
I'm always confused.
It's Gen Z. It goes millennials, Gen Z, Gen Alpha. Yeah. Gen Alpha is just ended.
Yeah.
There's a new generation started.
Yeah.
But Gen Z and millennial weddings, that's what we're all going to be dealing with for the next 15 years.
Yeah.
And there are just less of them than there were of the older millennials.
Mm-hmm.
And so again, it's not political at all. It's not cultural at all. It's just literally, if there are more people because of COVID competing for less people.
Mm-hmm.
That's the simplest way I can put it.
Yep.
And that gives consumers power, not providers.
Yep.
So we all have to either find a way to get in the door cheaper and beat somebody out, or be so much better.
There's a lot of things.
Or get into like a micro market that has its own little thing, like you do Indians or whatever, but specialize in niching down.
The last 5 years have been so interesting to me because you kind of had like a normal thing going on, like a normal attribution of like amount of weddings, amount of filmmakers entering the industry, whatever.
Yeah, it was like more like a steady pace.
Like you said, COVID just obliterated that, where it was like demand was way down and then way up. And so you had all these people that had no idea what they were doing with the camera being like, oh, I can make $5,000 on a weekend. Yeah. They entered the market. And also high demand. You had all these real volume companies. Like I don't consider ourselves
we're not volume. Like we might do 200. There are people that do 2,000.
Exactly. Your George Street and whatever, Tolman Media. You had those people who had this huge demand. They needed a ton of filmmakers. So even if you're a filmmaker entered the industry, you were like, hey, I can do my own weddings, but also I can work for a Tolman Media or whatever to fill out my dates.
Yeah, you can be shooting like 40 dates a year.
Make a lot of money. And then like Tolman Media couldn't even fulfill because there just weren't enough filmmakers, even at the high point. And then those people go out of business, right? A lot of those brands go out of business. And their demand, you would think, would be higher because all those 2,000 wedding
those people all
went
just
away.
Start new businesses and lie, so they don't really go away.
Yeah, but it's like, even now, it's like those companies don't exist. The demand for them isn't even there anymore because it's kind of just leveled off.
Yeah,
and the market's kind of finding its level. I think a little bit. I think you find a lot of people kind of wash out a little bit and go into corporate. Maybe they just hang it up completely. Maybe they're still just weekend warriors. And
it is incredibly hard to do this.
But this is how it works, though, right? And this is how we've seen. The people that have been in the industry have a leg up naturally. They're going to be the first call from a wedding planner, from people in the industry who know about you. from couples that have just seen you a million times on whatever planners. Maybe they're not even hiring the planner. They just seen you. They're going to call those people first. Those are kind of like alpha people that have been
Are
around,
you a
solid
first
brand.
call filmmaker?
Yes. You call them. A lot of people aren't like us. Maybe let's use like Jay and Mac as an example. Jay and Mac gets called. They go, we do 10 weddings a year.
Or we only work with couples who are
And-
like this,
yeah,
or weddings
like,
that are like
you
this.
can't afford us, whatever. Like, whatever reason. They go, okay, we can't. Jay and Mac is a no-go. Then they go to the next tier. Then they go to the next tier. Then they go, who's available? And then they eventually reach a certain point where it's like, maybe they get to you. And you just started 3 years ago. And you're like, I'm available. I'm cheap. I work within the price point, whatever. Maybe now Jay and Mac, because the industry is just shrinking, Jay and Mac is like a little less available. Maybe they can take that wedding. That means that you don't get to eat.
That's what I'm saying. Is like these people at the top of the industry
They're a
have
sponge.
right of first refusal, essentially.
Exactly.
And like
Yep.
if the guys, there's no shade to Jay and Mac. We have no idea. We're just picked a random name. So
Well, like
If
I
Jay,
put
if
them
you're
at the
li-
very top of the
yes,
industry.
yeah, I'm
so-
saying, but I'm saying like say Jay and Mac though is like, oh, we're hurting for bookings.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna drop our price.
Right.
Because we need to make a living.
Yep.
They're still gonna get the same leads.
I don't even think they would have to do that though.
But if they could,
Maybe
they
they
could.
could.
My point is like everyone at the top of the industry, if there is industry-wide problems,
Mhm.
people like us are going to be the first ones to drop our prices.
Mhm.
And that's going to affect you. So maybe we don't tell you. Maybe we go like me and Jared are like, oh, we're getting like 1,200 leads a year, or we're getting 800 leads a year, but we normally get 1,200. What's going on?
Mhm.
Let's drop our prices. Let's do this. Let's do that. By the time you get any like, you get wind that we did that, we've already closed a bunch of deals.
Yeah.
We've already taken all the weddings that you would have gotten normally when they called us and said, oh, you're too expensive. Right? If you're not at the top, and this is like, there's some more reasons, I think, but before we get into that, just know if you're not in the top of your own market, you are incredibly vulnerable to shifting market conditions. If you're at the top of the market and you're established, as long as you don't screw up in some very, very terrible way, like it has to be pretty bad, but a really bad way, you will always have people who want to hire you. And then you can decide if you want to work with them and decide if it's worth it to you. But like you have the first problem solved, which is people are calling you.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people in this industry, Jared, don't have anyone calling them. And that's why it's not much more complicated than that. And then it's like if they're only getting like scraps down the stream, and that's the only way their business has ever worked, is like Jared tells someone no and they always call the other guy.
Yeah. But if you are doing it part-time, it's like, maybe you're just like, hey, I'll take whatever I can get. And you're happy with that. You stay in the industry.
Maybe they are happy with that.
Yeah.
But the problem is they don't have control of their own lead generation.
Mhm.
That other person can turn the spigot off whenever they want.
Mhm.
So that might be part of why you're not booked, is because this other person is reacting to the same market conditions you are, but they're in better position because of their marketing and branding than you are. And so they're getting a lot of these inquiries, and then they're saying yes to things they used to say no to, which reduces supply for on your side.
Yep.
And so it's like, I think that stuff is happening, that people at the top of the market are adjusting slightly
Yep.
to a decrease. And I don't mean top of the market like shooting luck celebrity weddings. Honestly, if you're doing a celebrity weddings, you don't get to really weigh in on this. You live in a fantasy world. I love you people, but you're not living in the world everyone else is living in. Like, and so it is what it is. It's just totally different. That's all I'm saying. So
Yep.
What are some other things that you think are affecting I'm sure it's similar, but why do you think this is happening? What are some of the headwinds
I think competition outside of wedding filmmakers is
for wedding
really-
videos?
for wedding videos is really affecting people's bookings as well. Talking about content creation, talking about photographers who offer video, which, by the way, photographers have always really offered video. A lot of photographers
They're
have.
better at it now, though.
But I think they're better at it now. It's easier than ever.
They
to
can
just buy
outsource
a
their
good
editing.
camera. They can outsource the editing. They can outsource the shooting. They can do a lot.
and you're like, with the outsourcing editing, Jared, I don't think a lot of filmmakers have really thought about this. and I know this firsthand because we have some of these clients that are photographers. They outsource to us for at Outpost Studios, out-post.io. Head over there if you need editing. Anyway, but these guys will call us, girls, guys, and they'll say like, yeah, I don't really care about how much the editing costs because I make all my margin on the photo.
Yeah.
And so like they might charge 10 grand for the photo, 8 grand for the photo. They don't care if it's 4, 5 grand, and still they'll drop $1,500 on the edit because they're making most of their money and they're just giving margin away. So they don't have to work with the filmmaker they don't like, or it makes them a little bit extra money.
Yeah, it makes them $1,000. They're happy. They're
they're happy.
I just coordinated it and put it on my website, and then someone else shot it.
I don't really
someone
care.
Else edited it, and and they would be able to do a lot better than I would be able to do if I tried to edit.
And they're getting better editing than you're getting because like they're hiring us, and we're probably better than you. And
guys, here's the deal about outsourcing in 2025: is the editors that you hire now, in a lot of cases, they're probably better than you. Like, I'm not talking about people at the top of the market. Like, if you're like a Kyle Smith, you have a very unique style or whatever, I probably wouldn't recommend outsourcing because it's like, you won't have that. But for most people doing most wedding films, for most couples, outsourcer can probably do just as good and probably better than you at this point. Because people are just doing this as a full-time job now. You don't think a full-time editor knows more than you do? I will never edit another wedding film ever again if I don't have to. Like, because it's not my unique talent. I can do it, but if I did it every day, I would be a lot better at it. So just like, I don't know.
Well, I think the biggest difference
really
is like
nowadays,
two people measuring goodness at something is not as simply as measuring the outcome. Like, my wife is a good cook. I'm a much better cook because I can make the same thing in 1/4 of the time because I have a better sense of how to time it and pace it, which means I can make more food, which means I can get more stuff done in other than cooking, which like it's a good editor is not just making a better video. They're faster and they're making more money with their time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you might be a pretty good editor with 10 weddings, but you can't make more than that. You're capping your income because you're not able to produce more product. And so I think that's also part of the problem is like if these photographers who are taking your work are hiring other editors, they could take 30 weddings. They could take 50 weddings. They don't care.
Yeah.
They're probably hiring you to shoot for them.
Mm-hmm.
Like they don't care. You do care. And I think you're right.
Yep.
I'm sure that's so. I'm interested about the content creation though, because we were talking before.
Yep.
And I was like, I don't think that is affecting our market that much yet. But you would disagree. So I'm curious why you think it is affecting people.
Yeah. Well, just I see more people doing it. See people pop up all the time who are doing it. So like maybe it's a little bit of, hey, they're taking videographers market. Maybe they're also filling a gap of people that weren't going to order video, and they're like, oh, maybe I spend $1,000 and I get a person with a phone all day. Maybe it's filling some of that gap of people that weren't going to go with video at the very beginning. Maybe. Again, there's no hard numbers on any of this stuff, but just
the barrier to entry is so low that anybody can just say, I do this.
But here's the other thing is they're getting pretty good. Like I saw a content creator, local guy in our area, very good. I met him in person. Very nice guy. His name's John. Very good at what he does. He could be a videographer, but he wants to carry around a phone and not have to deal with the video stuff, carry the gear, tripods, whatever. Like he has his own, content creation stuff. The selfie pole or whatever it is, the light, the whole rig kind of setup. But he's like, yeah, if I can make just as much doing content, dude, if you didn't have to carry around cameras and you just hung out at parties and shot content, you could do that Friday, Saturday, Sunday, charge $3,000, make $9,000 on the weekend, and then have you could outsource a lot of that.
I'm not debating though whether or not they could.
It's a business model.
I'm debating whether or not they are yet.
Sure.
I don't feel like the saturation point has hit where it's like enough people are like losing out on gigs because the person hired a film of content.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it won't happen, but
empirically, from my experience, I see more content creators on people's vendor list now than I did a year ago.
I see that too.
So I'd say it is happening. And here's the other thing is like we're in a part of the country. We are based in New England. We're in Boston, where trends take a while to catch on. So if you're in another part of the country, just know you're probably ahead of the trends where we are. Like things take a long time to translate. New York is going to be, tip of the spear. Miami, LA, those places. Like,
I'm sure in California, they're definitely hurting local filmmakers.
Seeing a lot more. So if it's not here already, it's coming, right? It's something that we should be prepared for. If you think it's bad now, I mean, not to be super doom and gloom.
I don't think it's bad though. I tend to think most likely that yes, it will take some people's work, but it's probably an even split between. No, it's probably 3 types of people with content. Take people's work. That probably will happen. I think the one we see is additional. Like we are shooting alongside a content person.
Sure.
That will happen. And then some are going to be, I wasn't going to get anything, but then I got this.
Mm-hmm.
So I do think it's a percentage of people that are being affected, but I don't think it's as severe as population, construction, supply demand problems.
Mm-hmm.
And there's another one I'll say after we talk about this. But
Yeah. So that would be the other thing is like I do see the line between videographer, filmmaker, content creator. I think that line starts to like overlap and blur a little bit more.
I don't. Yeah, that's my thing. I don't view them as different.
Really. I see a content creator as a videographer.
Me too.
You're shooting vertically. Okay. We also shoot vertically. We have a DSLR or a mirrorless camera. They have a phone camera. I mean, you're just talking about what equipment. Like I remember last year, we shot that event for Lindsay Landman, and there was a content creator there, and I was like, "But you're just like a videographer." She was like, "No, like and she was like, "We don't want to take your jobs," essentially, and I was like, "No, but like, you're just a video, like it's a different frame or whatever."
That's such a lie, though.
But that's always what you hear is like, no, we're not, because they don't want to be seen as like you're stepping or taking people's jobs.
But you are.
But you're a disruptor. You're disrupting the industry. That's what you do. And everyone wants to be super nice, but
Who cares about that?
Behind each other's back, like, just do what's right for them, which any industry should do, by the way. I have no problem with it. But it's like, that's what the truth is on the ground is like, you are just a videographer. You are creating video.
Let me ask you this question.
Maybe you're not a filmmaker, but a videographer, you're doing video. So
you're not maybe not a storyteller, but you are. So like you're telling. Let me ask you this question.
The lines are going to merge is my point.
I agree. And that's what my thing is like, if I could get away with shooting, if you could get paid, if somebody goes, I'm going to give you 15 grand, but don't bring a camera, just use your phone. You would be like, oh my God, yes. And then everyone said that to you. Yeah. Everyone's like, oh, I love your work on your phone so much. You wouldn't be like, somebody would. Me and Jared would not go like, but my art, please. We would be like, oh, wow, this is so easy now. Like,
how long? This is what's going to happen. People are going to start bringing drones, but they don't want to be a videographer. So they're going to make sure they can put their phone on the drone because then they can shoot their content on the drone. And it's just like, dude, what are you doing? You're just using your phone, which is actually more inconvenient at that point. Guess what? There are drones that actually flip vertical for you directly, like, and then you could just, and it's a matter of transferring data, right? Does the equiment allow you to transfer data as fast as a phone? That's what we're talking about.
I mean, the only difference to me, a content creator is a content creator. The reason why I think content creators are a threat is not because of any reason except that wedding filmmakers don't understand what sells wedding videos. And content people by nature do. Mm-hmm. Like it's the only distinction I really see beyond the cameras, which I don't care about because what difference does, like, it's a camera, they're all cameras, is that this one person, the stories are longer and like, yes, there is a different product that's being made. But the reason why they would take each other's work is because one person knows how to sell their product, the other one doesn't. And you get into content creation exclusively because you understand sales. That's why you like it. Mm-hmm. And you could talk about, it's content. It's like, it's vapid crap to sell stuff.
Yeah.
That's what social media is about. And to your point, why you're not booking weddings in 2025, maybe you don't know how to sell weddings at all. And those people do. And
Right.
you think people want to buy stuff. There's a reason why I always hear this and I always push back on it, not because I don't agree on one level, but because I'm not sure there's an alternative, which people will go like, everything looks the same. Everything in the luxury, it all looks the same. And I think there's some benefit to being different, but mostly it's a risk to be different in markets.
Yep. Totally.
It's not good if somebody goes like, oh, I went to your hamburger place and it's actually a sloppy Joe.
Mm-hmm.
And then you say, actually, that's the real hamburger. The first hamburger was like, it doesn't matter. All that matters is what a person expected. And that's sales.
Yep.
And I think a lot of filmmakers spend way too much time on everything but trying to anticipate what someone wants to buy.
Mm-hmm.
And really focusing. And I'm telling you, like, if you're listening to this podcast and you're experiencing this negative thing, if you can have an honest moment with yourself and say, am I showing to the public what they want to buy? What the language they want to speak, the way that they want to see it, the media that they want to see it, the length they want to see, the things that they want to see, and not just the thing you think they should want to see. And content creators by nature are showing people what they guarantee want to see because they're using a very concrete measurement.
Yeah.
Clicks, likes, shares. These are concrete. What is your measurement?
Yeah.
The couple cried in a video?
Mm-hmm. This would be my appeal to the broader wedding film community is, how do I say this? I would say, what are you doing to advance the wedding film world? Like, are we relevant in 2025 in a way that will also be relevant in 2030?
Yes.
Like,
that's why I brought up the generations.
yeah, exactly. What do people want now? And are we offering what we were offering in 2015? You know, are we offering the same exact thing? That's my challenge to myself. As a brand who's been around for 15 years, that's what I'm thinking about. How are we relevant still? How will we be relevant in 5 years?
To your point, like,
Yeah.
we were like, well, people want longer videos because I can do that. The content creators can't. So that keeps me relevant.
Sure.
And
Yep.
it used to be, people don't want longer videos. It's
But
not
also, how can I become more like a content creator too?
that too.
So the conversation I just had with our lead editor, Caleb, is how can we bring in more authenticity into our films, make them a little less polished, bring in more broader personality into our films in a way that feels like you're just there. Our films are very good. They're very polished. They have a certain look. They have a certain feel. Our brand is that, right? It's that classic New England wedding film is what we always say.
A little more fun than the classics.
Yeah, a little bit more fun. You know, we definitely have a little bit more, fun, bright guitar and whatever to it. But I think that I think about that. I think about like, what are content creators doing? Okay, they're capturing these moments. You're hearing people laugh in the background and doing certain things. How do we show more of that in our wedding films that allows people to feel like they were actually there? And everyone will
Well,
be
it's
like,
funny
oh,
about like you're talking about authenticity, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of people are like, oh, I need more authenticity, so I'm going to do an interview. It's like,
yeah.
What are you talking about? Like
Yeah.
the least authentic thing anyone could ever do is sit in front of a camera and talk about themselves.
I mean, well, and
There's nothing wrong with that.
I'm happy that people are doing that. That's cool. Like, what's his name? Who's doing those?
Max.
No. The real world reality TV shows.
I mean, I'm not happy with that. I hate those videos.
Me too. I hate them. But I'm happy that there are different styles that are out there, that people are trying different things.
I'm happy with Max. We're talking about a different person.
I don't know what Max is doing now.
He does interviews and stuff, but it's like, there's a place for that. But
Right.
I don't like reality style,
Right.
like that tacky style.
Yeah, very inauthentic in a lot of ways. But I think that we have to be pushing the bounds of like, we have to provide value to people, right? In a way that they can see it being valuable to them 30 years from now.
We also have to care that it doesn't work on the internet.
Sure.
Like
Sure.
even like to your point, right? Obviously authenticity, but like
I do feel like it translates to the internet.
it
though.
does translate. I'm saying, but even if you're not doing what you're saying,
Yeah.
I was talking to one of our editors yesterday, and he's doing a cut, and I'm like, no one's gonna watch this far into the video. You're 10 seconds in, and you haven't shown me anything interesting.
Mm-hmm.
You show me 4 straight establishing shots. They all are the same.
Yep.
Please show me something else. Keep the video moving.
Yep.
I am literally thinking about this as a marketing piece. So many filmmakers don't think about what they put out into the public. They're all about like what's weird is we're all about curating for a very niche audience that they understand. Like, oh, my couple's like X, right? And I think we're okay in that arena. When it comes to though, like, will a person watch this? The things that content creators think about.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I see a video and I'm like, I have a baseline and like of plays in my mind that I have nothing to do with virality. We're not trying to be viral, right, with our videos, but I do know if my audience enjoyed it. If we got them to stick around for the first 10 seconds of the reel. I talk to so many filmmakers, Jared, and they don't think about that at all when they cut their reels.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, well, I don't care about that. I'm just focusing on my couple. I'm like, that's insane.
Focusing on the story.
Yeah, I'm like, you're insane. Like, the point of social media is not your couple or the story. The point of social media is marketing. Mm-hmm. And you're fighting a competitor in a content creator who knows this. That's how they're running their business is like, how do I get eyes on this stuff? Mm-hmm. And yet you're trying to compete with them for jobs, and your entire point is not getting eyes. Mm-hmm. Stupid.
Yeah.
You're wiped out.
Yeah. Yep.
Like, you need people to watch your videos.
Right.
You need people who don't know you when they watch it to finish it. Yeah. That's how you get clients. Right. Like, and it's like, there are so many people who philosophically, they don't just hate content creators because they're using a phone, although there are people like that. I think more people, Jared, hate content creators because they hate that their emphasis is on social media.
I agree. I do feel like right now you're going to see a little bit of a wave, but like everything, there's also going to be a massive withdrawal of content creators.
Oh, of course.
Because people are going to be like, this is our industry to a T. I'm going to paint them like to a T. They're going to go, content creation, it's just like their phones, like they're just about the now. I'm about the authentic, right?
Yeah.
That is 2 years away from us right now. They're going to be like, I don't want this person with a phone just following me around all day. Like, I want my moments to be authentic with my family and, you know, these things. And that's, again, where videographers can really shine. Hearing people, seeing people. We're documentarians. Like, we do a couple shots throughout the day that are a little bit more cinematic or whatever, a little bit more planned, I should say. Probably a better word to use. But like, for the most part, like, we're just capturing authentic moments and using sound bites in a way that tell a great story, right?
Yeah, well, and it's also like, it works at every wedding. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the thing is like,
we say it all the time. Family doesn't go out of style. It's timeless.
It's just, you shoot.
It'll last forever.
I don't need special buy-in. Like, I don't need the most fantastic wedding to make a film that was authentically someone's day.
Yep.
And to give it honor and respect in that way. And anybody who has that approach is probably going to be in it for the long haul. I think if you're overly curated, you're at the mercy of trends. Mm-hmm. I don't really want to be at the mercy of trends, but it's up to you.
People should be trying stuff, man. Like,
yeah, well, we
should be trying and pushing the bounds of what is possible. I mean, gear makes it more possible than ever. Outsourcing makes it possible for you to scale better than ever. Like, you should be pushing the envelope in terms of the films that you're trying to create.
So to the premise of the podcast, right, which is why you're not getting booked, there is a final reason that I was going to bring up, and it's to that point you just said. The wedding filmmaking industry first of all, we need some pruning. There's people who are doing this who need to stop doing it. Like,
maybe we're one of them.
Heck no. Like, we're bringing our value to other, you know. I'm telling you, people who are like just 55-year-old guys who are getting 50 weddings a year shooting for $1,500 who are terrible. They hurt our reputation. And no offense. Actually, I don't care. If I offend that guy, he doesn't even know what a podcast is. So, but there are people like that. There are people who got started with the wrong idea. There are people who are unprofessional. But I think the biggest pruning is there are people, to your point about like trying things, the industry needs, it's funny because on one hand, this is going to feel like I'm disagreeing with my original point, which is like what I said earlier, which is make something consistent and safe, and you're going to always have an audience. That being said, I don't mean don't try new things. Like, because what I mean is look at what the market wants and make something that they want. And so our part of the industry has not evolved since for 15 years. Everyone has been making the exact same thing, not stylistically. It's talking like products, which is why like when you see like reality TV show things coming in, a product I think is objectively terrible that does not have mass market appeal. Mm-hmm. But these little niche things take off because like, oh, finally someone's doing something different. Someone's trying something. Sure. Someone's trying something. And I think our industry needs to be less curmudgeon-y, our subcategory, less curmudgeon-y, less grouchy, more flexible, more open, and more innovative. And we are lacking that. And so a lot of people, we're not exciting the market. Mm-hmm. You know, like I know this, Jared, when I talk to full service planners, one of the number one ways I get them to keep hiring me is I throw ideas at them every year because they want it. They're like, oh yeah, my next client would love it if you tried this. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, I had somebody at Engage go, oh, so do you fly the drone inside? Mm-hmm. I go, absolutely. Yeah. You know, like these are little stupid things that I'm noticing and I'm trying to keep up on. A lot of people, they're not trying anything.
Right.
And our industry is just stuck.
Right.
So we're not doing anything that makes anybody go like.
The first person that should leave is the person that's not interested anymore.
Yes.
Right. Like the person who's just mailing it in for the paycheck, like, you know, doing it out of spite. Like you hate weddings. You shouldn't be in the industry, man. Like, go do corporate. Like, there's plenty of ways to make money doing something you hate, right? Weddings are labor of love. Like, when it's 9 o'clock at night and you've been shooting all day and you've been hearing people talk about Taylor Swift all day.
Yeah, and you can't send up a new bill for scope creep.
Yeah, you want to bash your head against the wall. Your feet hurt. You're on your second pair of shoes. And you're like, you know what? I really should do a time lapse because this would look nice. And your decision is go home to a warm bed and a Red Bull and a nice drive home and a podcast. This is my world. Or do this time lapse for half an hour before you go. Like doing the time lapse because it's something cool. Like push yourself. The only reason you're going to do that time lapse is because you love it at the end of the day. And you have pride in the work that you're doing still.
And the people at the top end industry, by the way, sometimes I talk about it and it seems like I'm saying like that I'm disrespecting them. I'm really not. I just think they don't know the market works anymore. But the reason why they're in the position that they are, I think to a person that I've ever met, whether it be like Lindsay and Cherich, whether or not they actually are having benefit by shooting RAW. They shoot Canon RAW. Whether or not they are or aren't, the fact that they are willing to try and pushing it is a benefit.
And also pushes the rest of the industry.
It pushes people. Like the fact that like Alex has to shoot 700 time lapses per wedding and every single sunrise that's ever happened. I'm exaggerating, but like that is how these people are doing their jobs.
Well, yeah. And to be at the top of the industry, you do have to do things that other people are not
They
doing.
are bringing it every single week.
Yep.
And, you know, I was at Engage and Peyton was there and I barely saw her because they were working so hard. And they made some really cool products. I encourage you to go check out the Engage Summit in Castel Falfi. Head over to Engage on their Instagram and look at the videos that they did. That is a wedding filmmaker making essentially corporate like content. It was like content creation, but fancy and beautiful. Really, really cool. High effort, very collaborative, worked with a lot of people. Those people deserve their spots because of what they're doing. you think there's like some magic secret different than kill yourself and work super hard and push yourself.
Mhm.
There isn't. And too many people in the industry, they're not pushing themselves anymore. Like you said,
Mhm.
they're over it.
Mhm.
And they're just, that's what I mean. Is like, we need these people to be pruned. You need to go away. Like, it's like a plant's growing. I don't know if you got to cut some of the, there's only so much nutrients to
When's
go to
the
the
last
plant.
time you planted something, Jason?
I've grown, we have plants in the house.
Oh yeah, house plants. Okay.
Yeah. And I grow those.
Yeah.
I was trimming the other day because there was 2 brown leaves coming off and a nice green one. So I'm
Yeah.
like, these brown leaves are taking the energy of the green.
Taking too much? Yeah.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Like, quit. If you're listening to this podcast and you get out of his, I should quit. Like, I wouldn't think that was bad.
This is that's my newest. Well, not newest. It's been growing on me since COVID. Jay, the outdoor gardener dad mode.
I just don't have the land for it. I will do it.
We don't have it either. But the bees are in the back right now. If we just planted some strawberry plants, and this is my life, man. It's the best. Like I'm dedicating an hour of decompression time to garden, plants, lawn, outside time. It's the best.
I just do
Gets my kid outside for an hour. She plays in mud for as
cocaine.
long. What?
I just do cocaine.
Oh well, that will do it too. That will decompress you.
I don't need to
No, it
decompress
won't
with cocaine.
decompress you. Yeah.
No, I just keep working, you know?
Yeah. Oh.
And then I
yeah,
don't feel
good.
bad about it because
Yeah.
of cocaine.
Oh, right. You make up for it. It's like
Yes.
the low.
As long as you don't feel bad, it's the whole point of life, right?
Right. Seriously.
But yeah, so I think that's a big reason why a lot of people aren't getting booked is they haven't done anything new in years.
Mm.
And what they're doing is boring and everyone's over it.
Dude, I'm terrified, man. I mean, again, we've been doing this for a long time. I'm scared of becoming that guy, right? Guy who's been in the industry, comfortable, complacent.
And you think you've earned everything, but really you're just old.
Well, you have earned something.
But you didn't earn next year's bookings. You know what I'm saying?
Nothing is promised tomorrow.
Nothing is
right?
promised, you
Nothing's
know?
promised.
And like you every single year need to show up. And yeah, you might take you 3 years to experience the consequences of your actions,
Mhm.
but you will at some point experience
Look,
taking your foot off the gas.
it's riding a bike, right? It's like you pedal. There are some coasting points where you can be like, okay, I can catch my breath a little bit and just kind of coast off of this success.
Mostly
But-
uphill though.
Guess what? You're going to have to get right back to pedaling. And there, like you said, there are going to be those uphill times where you're just like, hey, I see a hill coming up. I'm just going to have to keep on pedaling. If you let your foot off the gas, it'll catch up and you're going to start to see a dip.
Running a small business is mostly horrible.
Right?
And like you have to know that.
Yeah.
If you think it's not horrible, like when I hear some people say, I just love it. It's so great. I love the freedom. I'm like, you have freedom? What are you talking about? I have no freedom. I run a small business, and yes, do I have to go to someone else's thing? No. But I'm still running my own business, and I don't resent it the way some people do. I'm fine with it. I don't not enjoy it. When I say it's mostly horrible, what I really mean is it's incredibly hard.
Yeah.
And a lot of work, and to your point, a lot of pedaling.
Would you rather have, at this point in your life, an extra 10 hours a week for whatever, free time, kids, whatever, or make an extra, let's say 75K? I think 100K
Money.
is too much. Yeah.
Every time, because I love my kids. My kids need money. I don't want my kid to get to. My daughter is very smart. The other day she said to me, she goes, Dad, has there ever been a female president? I'm like, no, not yet. She's like, I think I'd like that job. I was like, we'll see about that. But regardless, it's like, I don't want.
Don't run as a Democrat. 'Cause,
Yeah.
it doesn't work out so
Hey,
well.
maybe in 15 years she might be able to do it.
Yeah, you know, hey.
Who knows what happens? But regardless, I think I hear those things and I'm like, I have to keep working. What if she wants to go to law school? What if she wants to do that? You know, who knows? So and maybe this is just I'm kind of old school dad in that way. Like when I hear these dads who are like, oh, I never got to be with my dad. He was always working. First, I'm like, bull crap. You got to be with your dad more than most people in the history of mankind. How many months was he at war for? 0 months? So you only got to see him on the weekends. So like still 200% more than, or like, you didn't have like, I don't know, some kind of like child worker and the dad went into a room and said, children, do not disturb my peace. And then sat in the room and smoked cigars by himself every night.
Yeah.
Dads don't act like that.
Yeah.
So like chances are you have misplaced parental guilt and we're all spending tons of time with our children. And that's great. That's what I do. I feed my kids. I put my kids to bed every night. How much more do I need to do that? Not much more. Would I enjoy not having pressure on me all the time that I had to work? Yes, I would like that. But if it's between like having 10 free hours so that my wife can make me clean the house more or making another 75K so that I can provide for my kids, I'm going to take the money.
Right. Yeah.
Because I'm like, it's a value priority. It's like, I value my children's future more than I view myself as being spent for my children. I don't view my children as my thing to enjoy. I view my life as an offering to my kids. So when my life is over, they're going to say, wow, my dad did everything possible to make sure my life was as good as possible.
But don't you think there's a little bit of like, when you're around your kids, they want to emulate you versus when you're working continuously and they're around one parent more, that they would actually be like, oh, I wish my dad was home.
I mean, as a man, I can't like speak towards the
millennial side of me will speak to you.
The end of like the generations and how like families have always been constructed throughout time. I think modern men are spending more time with their kids than any in history.
Yeah, totally.
And I know I am already. So like, how much harder can I? Like, I don't feel guilty. No.
Yeah.
Like, it's like I'm spending more time with my kids than most any man in the history of the world.
Mm-hmm.
So why do I need to spend? I don't feel bad about it. Like, I make my kids dinner 4 to 5 nights a week.
Yeah.
I put my kids to bed. I don't miss.
I think it's interesting because it's just like.
But yet people still feel guilty, and I'm like, why do you feel guilty? You're spending a ton of time with your kids.
It's the European thing. Like, Europeans spend so much time with family, and Latin Americans do too.
They're all poor.
They
happy. Literally like make less money median income than.
Are Americans happier?
I don't think anyone's happy in the whole world.
Well, I think they're happier.
But I don't think so.
I do.
They won't be happy when they get rolled by Russia in 2 years.
Sure. I agree.
That's my point. Is like anything makes you happy.
I like to work very hard, by the way.
Well,
so
anything will make you happy if you don't know the consequences of your actions.
Yeah.
Like, so I don't care. I don't care about happiness. I don't think it's that big of a. It's not like you could be like happy. Like, I have heard literally people who have left their wife
to make themselves happy,
cheated on their spouse.
Sure.
And then they go, oh, it's so much better because I'm so much happier. Like, what you did, the way it happened was bad. What you did, you should not be. Like, the fact that humans have a great capacity to be very happy being very bad.
Right.
So happiness is a bad measurement.
Right.
And to me, the measurement is fulfillment and did I make a good choice? Was it selfless? Was it the right thing to do?
Yeah.
And what are my priorities? My priorities are like, now, all that being said, sounds like I'm like obsessed with, I never want to not work. You gave a very specific question.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's on the table. I don't think like 10 hours is how I'm going to produce 75K.
Mm-hmm.
So in reality, if you were to say like, would you like 10 hours back in your week? I would say absolutely. If there was an actual trade like that, and now 75K for the business, probably not.
No, for you personally.
For me personally, which would mean like, but that for us with our business model, it would mean double growth.
Mm-hmm.
If I was making 75 more K, it would mean we went from 1.2 million gross to like 2.4 million.
Mm-hmm.
If I don't do that, I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
And that's my point. A lot of you guys are idiots. Like, when you look at your business, you've made these types of choices like, oh, I'm not going to work hard. It's like, because who cares about $10,000 more in my pocket? And you're like, dude, it's not 10, it's 50.
Yeah.
It's not a little bit more money. It's a lot bit more money. It's like,
well, maybe
it is what would happen if you worked as hard as you could on your business. That's what I'm saying. It's like, I guess I would say this.
I just know right now are the prime working years.
Yes.
So now work so later you can,
You're an
Like-
adult. You're an adult. You're supposed to work.
Yeah.
Like you have a job and it's like, that's not the point of my whole job. It's like, yeah, you can be not wealthy or you can provide less for your kids. And I'm not making a decision on whether or not that's a good choice. I don't care about that.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to run a wedding video business and you're make a bunch of choices that are hurting your 2025 bookings and you're happy and you're providing for your kids and your family is fine, I don't care. I don't have a moral judgment on that. But if you're telling me like, oh, I'm really struggling and this is my issue. Yeah, I need more bookings. Yeah, you should work harder. Well, no, I think you misunderstood me. I would like more of my ideal client. Yeah, you got to work harder. No, what I really mean is I want to be able to spend less time on this business and make more money.
Mm-hmm. Well, let me ask you this. Would you work an extra 10 hours a week now to make an extra 100K?
Heck yeah. Now, that's not really how the calculations work. Would I make
I don't
it
think I would.
for a theoretical?
Yeah.
No. If you were to guarantee that every day, 'cause that's 2 hours a day more, I would get up at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
Like I would not give up certain things with my family,
Sure.
but I would sacrifice my own time.
Sure.
Like I would because of my family.
Yeah.
And so it's like, yes, I mean, not now. I don't know how you make that kind of calculation, and I don't know what that has to do with our podcast topic.
Yeah.
But yes, I would.
Yeah.
I mean, I think like these are all like the problem with all these theoreticals is like that's just not how life works.
Yeah.
You know, the likelihood of like the reason why
Maybe the dollar amount's off.
not just that. If you don't have the right methodology, how can you produce more money?
Mm.
Like if your approach is like, I'm going to edit longer.
But yours is right. Yeah, you have a nose for how to grow business and make money and do things.
Yeah. And the other thing is, could I be productive?
Mm-hmm.
That is more the question.
Well,
I'm
yeah,
asking.
that's
If I look at 10 hours and so if you're hearing this and we're talking about our context, you're thinking about your own context, don't hear me saying always work more.
Mm-hmm.
You need to know how much you can work and still be productive.
Right.
If I'm working and I'm just working longer, but I'm like, my brain is out of ideas and I can't even think anymore, you need to stop working.
Yeah. I feel lucky because I do feel like sometimes naturally our business does require us to work a lot more, but it's seasonal. It's like ups and downs, it's pressure and it's breaks. It's, I do feel like that's a nice part about being in the industry that I love. Like you get a little bit of downtime,
Especially in our market.
Yeah. In our market, you get a little downtime and then it gets cranking. It's busy. It's crazy. You can't even think straight. Like there's a million things going on. So
I mean,
appreciate
I don't think I could really productively work a lot more.
Yeah.
And so it's not an issue of would I, it's an issue of like, I don't think I would produce
Spend
100,000.
10 hours to get 5 hours.
I
of
wouldn't
productive
produce $100,000 like because I wouldn't be as productive.
Mhm.
So like I'm not like some irrational person that thinks everyone should just be working as much as possible and never spend time with their kids. I spend so much time with my children. I spend so much time with them. My kid the other day said,
Go to work.
no, she goes, when she found out about a family that doesn't have dinner together every night.
Mhm.
And she was like, huh? She couldn't even comprehend the idea of not eating dinner with her family every night. So that's the life I live. So you can judge me any way you want for telling you to work hard. And I'm going to say, do you have kids dinner with your children every night? Because I do.
Mm-hmm.
So like that's the values you should be measuring it based on is like, am I investing in the people I love? And I am. And so, but on the work side, if I worked an extra 2 hours a day, I probably wouldn't get anything extra done because I'm too tired,
Yeah.
And so it's like being realistic about that is clearly true. It'd probably be easier if I had like a direct return. But anyway, back to the topic. Is there any other things that you want to say in terms of like why someone's not being booked in 2025 that we didn't address? Because I think like just to talk to our audience really quick. we want you to know that there are ways to turn it around. And we're not trying to cast doom and gloom on you. We're just saying these are the reasons. So are there any other reasons?
No. This was my break into closing this episode up, actually, because I don't have anything else. I think those are. I think we spelled out.
I
have
have one
reasons.
reason I was going to throw out.
Okay,
and it's a short one.
Yeah.
Have you made enemies in the industry? And that's a small one, but I have heard this a lot.
Yeah.
There's certain people that will be like, I'm not getting booked at all. And I'll be like, I know why you're not getting booked.
Sure.
So you have to have that come to Jesus moment.
Yeah.
And honestly evaluate that. And your career might be over.
You should move.
Yeah. Yeah. Like you might not be able
Change
to recover
markets.
it, but
Yeah.
you also might need to go have an apology. You might need to have a conversation. But I will say, if it's just relationships in the industry being strained, that's actually an easier problem to fix than all the other ones.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know what you did.
Well, and the wedding industry is forgiving in that if your work is good, people will hire you that have never worked with you before that don't know about your bad reputation.
Well, and also people
So
like
you can get a good reputation by doing a good job.
when you talk to someone you offended, your job is not to get them to hire you.
Mm-hmm.
Your job is to keep them from bad talking you.
Mm-hmm.
So if you apologize to people and you show humility, it smooths over a lot.
It does. Yep.
And so that's the last thing I wanted to say to you is like, if you're listening to this and you're like, dang, I used to do this and now I'm not doing it anymore. Think about how many times you argue with photographers about body positioning or how many issues that you cause for planners, and take a little second and try to figure out, can I smooth this over? I think that'll do wonders for you. And it's not that hard to do. It just takes a little vulnerability and humility.
Cool.
So that was it.
All right, let's wrap this up. Thank you guys for listening to another episode of the Wedding Film School Show. My name is Jared, and here with Mr. Jason McCutcheon. I would encourage you guys, check out our Facebook group. That's where you can see all the conversations that are happening in the more broad world of Wedding Film School. We have a newsletter. Go to weddingfilm.school. It'll pop up. You can sign up for it there to see kind of the broader discussions that are being had, videos that are going out on YouTube, podcasts that are coming out, any kind of curriculum that we're putting out, workshops, etc. I would say go there first and foremost. Thank you guys for listening. We'll see you again here next week on Wedding Film School Show.